Hey y'all, what's up? How you guys doing? I'm here in lovely Boston, Massachusetts, down by the waterfront, and I'm going a little early today because I got a sound check pretty soon. But I might just take the computer up on stage. I think during sound check, just put it on top of my guitar vault. You guys could be hanging while I do that, just for the hell of it, you know. What's going on out there? What are you guys talking about? Who we got? We got Ferd. We got My Knees Hurt. We got Simon. We got Joe. It's an intimate crowd because I'm early. 15 minutes earlier than I usually do this. Tour's going good. God, we played this venue in New Hampshire yesterday. It's the Bank of New Hampshire Pavilion in, I'm trying to remember the name, Guildford or something, New Hampshire, something like that. Anyways, it's like the greatest venue ever. It's like there's mini golf and a swimming pool and open bars and a fire pit with stuff for s'mores and amazing catering all day with a full seafood bar and a food truck after the gig and bicycles you can ride, and there's a nice lake right next to the venue. It was unbelievable. They took such great care of us. So if only every gig could be like that. It was pretty awesome. Ian says live stream sound check would be awesome. Yeah, I'll just bring you guys out on stage when because I think we're probably going to end up going early. We usually do 3:30, which is in an hour on the East Coast time. But I bet we're out there by 3:10 or 3:15 or something. So that's in about 40 minutes. So yeah, we'll get out there and play a couple of songs, check the sound, that kind of thing. Check the sound. I see Randy Cook over there, drummer extraordinaire. I see Sean Hurley. Maybe I can talk these guys into coming over here for a minute. Sean, come here for a sec. Randy, my bandmates. Sean says he's live. Don't say anything stupid.
He's live.
I called you.
He said you too.
You're just deaf. You can't hear because you play drums.
Don't say anything.
There's my bandmates.
Right.
Drummer, knucklehead, bass player. You guys know these guys.
We know these guys. We know all of you.
Yeah. What do we got here? Bicycles rule. Bicycles do rule. I was telling him about the venue yesterday and how great it was.
His knees hurt. My knees hurt too, by the way. My knees hurt too.
Yeah, everything hurts.
Everything hurts.
You're at that age, Randy.
Absolutely.
That's what it is.
I like that.
We're live.
Sup, dudes?
Yeah. So we've been having fun out here. Really
Yeah.
good time. Yeah, it's been a nice vibe. Really good vibe. Good tour.
You feel the Berkeley fusion in the air?
Oh yeah, I do.
It's wafting in from Mass Ave and
I'm gonna play more notes. You play more notes?
Oh,
tonight?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Might go buy a 5-string today.
Yeah. Don't play any roots. Play
No
around
roots.
with it.
Oh yeah.
Just ghost at it.
Over
every
3,
now
over 5, over major 7.
and then. It's gonna be good.
Watch me work.
Where's one?
Yeah, where's one?
We'll never
Where's
know.
one? We'll never know. That's one thing with Randy. You always know where one is. Oh, Surf Bee says I'll be at the show tonight. That's awesome.
Sweetness.
We'll see you there this evening. We better play good for you. This is the first outdoor gig where it won't be sweaty. It's
Right.
like 70
True.
something, and it's actually cool. It feels like it's cooling off
Yeah,
all day.
totally. Yeah. As long
So-
as it doesn't rain, it'll be delightful.
Yeah, precisely. And even if it does, we're kind of under. It'll be all right.
We'll be fine.
We'll be fine. You
They
guys will
sell
be well.
ponchos here.
They're all covered up. Felix says, has a great show. Thank you. Appreciate that. Love the channel content. Thanks so much for the useful info. Hey, thank you. Put up the video on guitar cab mics yesterday. If you guys
This
haven't
is
seen
so
that,
exciting.
please give it a watch. You can talk about bass gear if you want. You want to talk about drum heads?
Yeah.
Bass drum beaters?
6 sizes.
What kind of beaters do you use? Thanks. Thank you, guys. It's all love out here. I was talking with Sean yesterday about, if nobody's seen, Sean has his own signature Fender P bass that's been out for a number of years now, and I think it's one of the coolest P basses that you can get because it's got well, first of all, the color is beautiful. It's a kind of a pewter, aged pewter, deep, gray, in between gray and silver, right? It's just beautiful. So, what is his bass rig? He's the simplest. I mean, all you hear in the house is a Noble's DI. That's it. it's just in his hands. He's an amazing bass player, really. Played with John Mayer for years. Does tons of sessions in LA. So as does Randy. Randy plays with everybody. I'm the worst musician in the band for sure. So they're super talented cats. But Sean's rig, so SVT on stage. He does have an amp on stage, but it's really just to feel. It's mic'd up, but I don't think there's any of it in the PA really. And truth be told, he doesn't even need it. He just, that DI is all he needs. Nobles is a fantastic tube DI made for bass. Yeah. Modern Vintage coming in hot with a question. Is polishing nickel and stainless steel frets with a Dunlop fret polishing cloth one time a week or every time you change the strings too much? Well, that's a good question. I mean, I guess I don't think it's a problem. I mean, nickel always is going to wear faster than, stainless. And stainless, you don't really have to touch, I find. I mean, I don't find the gunk building up on stainless like it does on nickel. Nickel gets, starts to get faded and starts to feel a little rougher under the string. But stainless, you're making me think about it. I haven't ever polished my stainless steel frets with, you got to clean the fingerboard sometimes. It'll get gunk, but the frets always look like they're gleaming, So I don't think it's a thing really. I mean, I would say wait until they feel a little funny and then polish them if they're nickel. But no need to do it all the time, But you could just wipe down with a cloth after you play a show or something like that, and that's probably going to help with any kind of sweat or oxidation that happens from kind of standard, it's like Joe here says, I say do if it gets dull or gack builds up. I agree with that. Only when you're starting to feel it, there's no reason to do it otherwise, or just use a soft cloth otherwise. Do you like the Dan Electro U2? I do. Is there a new version out? Didn't they come out in the 50s? I didn't see if there's a new version out or not. A newest. I have a lot of Dan Electro guitars. The nice fella there, he has been a big supporter of mine. He's always like, sometimes a guitar, this is a quality problem. It's not even a problem. The guitar will just show up from him, because I do use them in my videos. They're so different than Sirs, it's not some sort of competition. And, he'll say, I like them for their alternative kind of, tone quality. I've got one that he sent me a little while ago that's like a reissue of some sort of 59 Dano with 2 lipstick tubes, and it's got a kind of a double cutaway design, and it's got like almost like a walnut finish on the top. That guitar, he told me they worked really hard on the pickups on that to get them like it's a newer pickup. I've had the guitar for 2-3 years now. You may have seen me use it in videos, but it has that Dan Electro sound, like to the T. Like, I don't know how to describe it. Just what you think of when you think of lipstick tubes. It really does it, and it sounds great. And then the baritone, you've seen in a ton of my videos. I use that thing all the time. And the 12 string, I've got a few of their 12 strings, and the one that I like the most is the first one that was sent to me, which is the same shape as my 6 string that I was just talking about with 2 lipstick tubes. It sounds great. So I would say that 12 string that I've got with the 2 lipstick tubes, and then the baritone, which has the double lipstick tube that you can run in series like a humbucker in the bridge and the P90 looking pickup in the neck. Those are my favorites that I use the most. Have you or do you plan to do any vids on how to improvise and be musical on the fly? I don't know that I've ever done that per se. I do like I remember seeing this one Tim Pierce video that I thought was great, that was so to the point on that subject, where he talked about how he tends to play he's got a few different things, like his sort of blues thing, and then arpeggios, and then it was maybe something like melodic or something. So, and he cycles those constantly. where he's, you know, you might arpeggiate a chord to spell out the notes a little bit and then end on a blues phrase. And then the way he put it, I wish I could find it for you. So right now, but look on his channel for, you know, just search Tim Pierce improvise or something. You might find it. And he does some great, you know, videos on that kind of stuff. So, but I don't know that I've put out one. I don't think so. I guess I could talk about my love of Tim's video and then link to it. I'm going to be doing something with Tim actually pretty soon. Beginning of, am I doing it in August? I think it's in August that we talked about, but there'll be a sort of a Tim and Pete live stream like the old days. So I'll announce that coming up relatively soon. It'd be good to hang with him again. Under your hands, any effect sounds like gold. I don't know about that, sir. I can make them sound terrible. Would you still play the VH tribute with Mitch Malloy? I don't really. I mean, a one-off show or something is one thing. I don't really want to do, I don't think, a VH tribute of any sort. You know, one-off for occasional things is cool, but I don't. That's not really where my head's at, like touring-wise and stuff. I just there's already the Atomic Punks, you know. Frankie, what's his last name? Lindia, I believe is his last name. He's a great guitar player. And the guy that did the gig with me, Daniel Spree, bass player, he's playing in Atomic Punks, and we did the gig together with Mitch. He's great. You know, they do that thing so well. I don't know. It's just not where I feel like my. Here's the other thing. I already play in Classic Rock Show, right? Which is the band in England, and it's like how much of your time do you want to commit to doing a thing like that, which is covers at the end of the day. You know, we're paying tribute to covers, and it's great, and I enjoy doing that occasionally, but being out here playing original music with an original artist, I love more, you know, to be honest, than doing covers all the time. You know, I love doing Classic Rock Show. It's great. It's super fun, but it's like I still love my, you know, I mean, growing up kind of the last 25 years playing with, you know, Don Henley and Chris Cornell and Les Etheridge. I love performing and trying to do justice to an artist's songs, and you're on stage with the artist. You know, that's my thing. So a little more than doing any kind of like tribute thing. You know, that's no slag on Classic Rock Show or anything. I mean, I love playing with those guys, and it's totally got its own unique. I feel like as, you know, bands get older and stuff like that, and sings AC/DC or you know, whatever in Classic Rock Show, he kills it, you know, and it's times for if you've got a singer that's 60, 70 years old for them to do that. So I feel like there's a, as we get older and we want to hear those songs, there's a definite place for the other bands playing that music and trying to represent it as best as possible. Hopefully that makes sense. But my heart still is really, when it comes to touring on a regular basis, is with playing with original artists, you know, and I want to keep doing that as much as I can. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, and this is the other thing. Thanks for pulling me back around, because I actually started off by saying I feel like it's time for another record, and like I should be spending time. And I actually talked to a drummer friend of mine the other day, like, hey, if you got some time in August or September, can we get together and book off some time, cut some ideas and stuff, because I got to get some more music done. You know, the number one thing with staying relevant as a musician as you get older and stuff is being creative and keeping your creative output steady. And I feel like that's an important thing that, you know, I haven't had an album out since 2018, so it's like it's time to do another one. Loved your perspective on working for the music, the hang, or the money. Have you ever had all three on a gig? You know, this one is great like that, to be honest. We've had so much fun on this tour. Like yesterday, anybody joined Threads this week? By the way, I've got a Threads account now, which is like, you know, the new sort of Twitter like Instagram. I said yesterday at the end of the day, I said, today was a perfect day. I feel lucky, you know, on my Threads account. And it was like, I'm out here having fun with my friends, making money, playing good music. The hang is great. Bare Naked Ladies couldn't be nicer hosts. You know, they've just been terrific to us. And I feel like I told John last night, I mean, literally this venue we played yesterday, I can't tell you how great it was. we were watching Bare Naked. We got off stage, went and put on my swimsuit, jumped in the swimming pool that's backstage at this place. It's like an outdoor pool, all surrounded by big trees. It's beautiful. The big screen TV and a bar, and I'm in the pool there, floating, having a beer after our set, watching the beginning of Bare Naked Ladies set on the big screen TV, and I'm like, this rules, like this venue is amazing. And I said to John, this tour was a great idea. You never know sometimes when you take a slot, like an opening slot. We're in the middle slot, Stella Mitri, Five for Fighting, Bare Naked Ladies. And sometimes you don't know as an artist, like, oh, I hope this works out. I hope it's fun. I hope it's worth it. I hope it's everything. And I said to John, I was like, this was a great move. And he was there floating in the pool on a big floaty thing going, I know. This is awesome, So it's been really fun. Super, super duper fun. Steven says, I noticed that on this tour, you keep your pedal board right up front as a hired gun. Do you know how close to set it up to the front of the stage? Well, it's generally sort of predetermined by a stage plot, or, when you get in rehearsal, that'll be communicated to. Sometimes you're back further, sometimes you're on a riser, if you're on a pop tour, you're at the back of the stage. It's all stuff that's figured out ahead of time. And you show up and, it's usually like, well, here's your zone. On this tour, I'm right on the front line, and John's got a piano kind of mid-stage, and then he's got his acoustic guitar mic right up front, and he's just a little more forward than I am, and so it's good, because when he's at the piano, I'm right up front, and I'll sometimes step out and take solo or whatever, like, that keep the front line, something going on there. Sean likes to be back by the drums a little more, in that traditional kind of to the hi-hat side of the drums, bass back by the hi-hat, and that's where he feels comfortable, I think. And so he could be up at the front with me, but I think he prefers to be back there. He just likes it, so where he can feel the kit a bit more and communicate with the drummer visually, and I think that was kind of left up to him, so there's a lot of, it's kind of like open to interpretation, I think, on this gig. We kind of do our thing, and it's great that way. John's a wonderful guy to work for, John Androzik, in that sense. He's very like, he lets you do your thing, and that, I guess that includes where I set up on stage. If I wanted to be back, I could, so you can tell you're really enjoying it. Yes, I am. It's great. It's really fun. It's really fun. You should join Andy Wood and do the hand with him at the, what's the hand? At the Woodshed. That's his guitar kind of camp clinic. He's asked me to do it, and I've thought about it. It's just never kind of like coincided at quite the right time with me. But yeah, I love Andy. I'd love to do something with him one of these times. So Richard says he likes the deli meat tray. That's right over there. I can see it from here. All the condiments. Sitting beside catering backstage here. Do you record on your own at home or in a studio? Well, I've got my studio that you guys see in my demo videos. That's where I generally record. If I'm going to do drums, every drummer I know now has their own room, so you go to their place where their kit's all set up and mic'd, and, work with them. I did some drums on my last record at my studio on a few songs, and just kind of like, set up 7 mics and got basic drum sounds and did that, which worked out fine. But there's no reason to really do that now. Like I'll just go where, when it's just like my studio. It's easier for me to do sessions in my studio than it is to take gear somewhere else, because I've got everything mic'd and ready to go. You can send me the files. I mean, having said that, it's great to get together with other people, in another studio, in a pro studio. I still love that, and we all miss it. If you spend too much time in your own studio, it's never as much fun. It's a little isolating as getting together with other people, but it is easier to get the sounds and stuff. Are you using your PT100 amp? Not on this tour right now. I'm using actually a couple of Sir Cabs 112s, but I've got a Quad Cortex out that I'm running into a Matrix power amp, and so 2 XLRs feed the PA out of the quad with speaker simulation, and then 2 outputs with no speaker simulation come out of the quad and feed the Matrix, and 2 112s on stage. And for this gig, I love it. I actually do love it. It's so easy. I got the 112 spaced out behind me about 8 feet in between, and I've got this nice stereo spread where I'm standing on stage, and it's just great. Now, in this band 20 years ago, when I did my first tour with Five for Fighting, I used an amp called a Top Hat King Royale, which is a AC30 style amp. So I own one again. I own a head version now. And when I was setting up my sounds for this gig last year, because I started with them last year again, I thought, why don't I try the Top Hat again? And I set it up much the same way that I did back then, 20 years ago, and I made a quad cortex capture of it and a direct head capture, no speaker simulation. Put that in the quad, and then I added the speaker sim to it. It's an AC30 style cabinet, just one of the stock ones that comes in the quad cortex. That's what feeds the PA, and then I feed the matrix and the two cabs on stage. Worked perfect, It just sounded so good, and it's consistent, and it's the other thing is we've got a 20-minute changeover, so it's fast on and off stage, and it's just consistent and works really good. It doesn't, when I'm playing, I don't feel like I'm not playing an amp. It sounds and feels and feeds back and everything like I'm playing a regular rig. So I will say it's quite great. Now, next tour I do probably, unless something else comes up in the meantime, probably be some classic rock show stuff. For that, I plan on, for that I use my amps, my Sur amps, and maybe we'll have a new one by then. So we'll see. Yeah. Would you ever take any Sounds amp stuff out on the road? I know Paul Stanley uses one for when he's playing in the crowd on the small stage. That's interesting. I did that with a amp. What was that company? They made the pedal boards, amp something or other. I'm forgetting the name of it now. God, Tom King's going to kill me, but I can't remember the name of it. It was a modeler amplifier or something like Fire. I used one of those like that on a small stage in a similar way. That was my rig when I went out in the crowd on a small stage on some gig I did in Japan ages ago. But I've never done it with a Sounds amp. They sound great though. They're really good. I just did that video of the Sounds amp this week. It was the atomic amplifier. That was the unit. I'm trying to light up that comment, but it's not working for some reason. Show. Oh, weird. That's Joe Clay guitar. For some reason, there we go. There it went now. Couldn't get that to light up. Everything seems to sound good now. It's just down to nuance. I agree. Yeah, everything does seem to sound pretty good. You can get great results out of Sounds amps or Sounds amps, or Max Effects or Kempers or Quad Cortexes or real amps. I love Delamitre's out here using obviously some rental backline stuff. They got Chris has got a couple of from Delamitre has a couple of Fenders up there, Tweed something or other, and a Blues DeVille 410, I think. And Ian on the other side of the stage has an orange. I think they've rented amps over here as backline stuff. They sound great. I mean, it's great to hear those real cabs on stage. And I'm using real cabs on stage, just not with a tube amp. I love hearing stages that have, we've got a real bass amp up there. I've got my cabs up there, and it's cool. So, yeah. So I'll be looking at your pedal board tonight. There's not much on there other than a real treble booster, and the quad, and I use a little bit of Cocoa Boost here and there to just boost occasionally. I think Bare Naked Ladies sound like they're done their sound check. So why don't I walk over to the venue, and you guys can see the place and stuff. I'll get away from this generator that's running. It's probably making it difficult for you to hear. Let's see what's going on over here. This is the, I'm not going to remember the name of this venue. The Pavilion. Entering the Pavilion, established 1994. with a waterfront in Boston. Okay, let's see what's going on out here. Hey. Now there's Jim from Bare Naked Ladies. He plays that upright. He's a brilliant upright player, and I guess that's what he started on was upright. And okay, here's something cool to see. Look at that old Bradshaw controller there behind me. The Bare Naked Ladies guys have been using these Bradshaw controllers obviously for 20 plus years. I mean, I think it was late 90s or something they got them. They're rusty and they are road worn, and yet like they still work. And so testament to Bob. He obviously did a great job building that piece of gear back in the day, because they got 3 of them. So this is the venue, Leader Bank Pavilion, I do believe it's called. Leader Bank, is that right? Well, this is somewhat interesting, right? I think. Let's take a look at. There's our drum kit right there. There's my wedge going down. So I use a traditional wedge right behind me. You can see it there. That's all I need. Just that, and hearing the drums behind me, and I am good. This is Bare Naked Ladies guitar and bass world over here. They've got a lot of stuff back there, multiple racks. It's pretty cool. That fella back there with the hat on, that's Bungie, and he's awesome. He's been with the crew for eons, a long time. Oh, what else we got? There's another rack of guitars. Those are Ed's guitars back there from BNL. Let's see what else I can show you here. There's my stuff over there in that vault, so that'll be getting filled out now. Over here are these are Ian from Delamitri. These are his guitars. And oh yeah, riser stuff is also here. I can show you real quick. I don't want to, but there's it's Chris's amps. So yeah, a little tweed and a Fender there. Stand it up on that. So that's it. Here's Bungie doing my little Sunday live stream. There he is.
Oh, hey,
how long have you been with BNL?
13 years now.
13 years. Okay,
Yes,
oh, that's
13.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, love it. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Cool.
And these guys have been such a pleasure to tour with.
Well, it's been a pleasure working with you as well.
Oh man,
So,
such a good time.
yeah, man.
So good dudes.
Awesome.
Good Canadian dude.
That's right.
All right, I'll try and get out of the way here for a minute while stuff's getting set up. I can sit over here. And there's some folks. Bare Naked Ladies do a Soundcheck party. So all those people were at the Soundcheck party, hanging out. Put my computer on top of a giant bass bin here. And okay, so now I can look at your comments and questions and stuff a little bit while the stage is getting set up. You can see that action behind me. What else we got? Let's see. What are you guys talking about? Ed has some great gear. Ed does have some great gear. He's got nice guitars. And we got on the encore and we do all 3 bands jamming together thing. And I play Ed's DG335 generally, which is a great guitar. But last night it was funny. I walked out and Ed's tech handed me he had the DG335 in one hand, but then in the other hand he had a seafoam green looking junior kind of guitar, and he's like, "Which one do you want?" Give me the one I've never tried, and I put it on and then walked out, and it ended up being really cool. I love that. He just wanted to throw a curveball at me, but it was a great guitar, and it sounded a little hotter than the DG335. It had a P90 in it, just single P90 in it. It sounded great. It felt really good, so I enjoyed the hell out of that. It was great. I like weird challenges. He says, "Let me give you a pick too, just random pick." Okay. It's just for the one tune on the encore, so it's really fun. It's a nice venue on the water. Seen ZZ Top, Joe Perry, Frampton, and Robert Plant there. Yeah, I think I've played here. I feel like I played here with Jewel in 2006. Pretty sure. And then maybe again after that, I'm not sure. But just not 100% sure. Yeah. Let's see. This is an awesome field trip. Thanks. Yeah, it worked out good. The time is, I mean, on one hand, it's like right when I got to go to work, but on the other hand, works out pretty good, I think, time-wise. I would leave the computer up here so you can see Soundcheck, but it's a bass bin, and I think it's probably going to be kind of rumbly. So I'll probably put it on top of my guitar rack or something, maybe just on the stage. We'll see if I can find somewhere else to put it that makes sense. What else we got here? Let's see. You guys talking about. I'm growing tired of mixing with a mouse. Curious why you've never tried a soft tube console one or something similar. If I went that route, I would probably do the analog summing and get something like a API the box or something. I'd love to have something like that, but then it would require a whole rethink of my studio because just the kind of desk I have and stuff, I don't really have room even for a thing in the middle. I don't feel like, it just wouldn't fit in. I mean, where I put pedals when I'm doing videos and stuff, it would be right where that thing would go. So, it would require a different workflow and a major kind of, plus the investment in the unit, So we'll see. I'm not sure. But I don't mind mixing with a mouse because I feel like I kind of mix as I go when I'm doing songs now, like a lot of people. I'm even like doing things like before I'm even done recording stuff, I'm sometimes writing an automation and stuff to get parts to fade in, when I'm recording a song. So it just depends. So what else we got here? How long does it take for Pete to fly? Yeah, I don't fly the lights in the PA. That ain't me. What's up, dudes?
How's it going,
What are you guys doing? I'm doing my little Sunday live stream.
Oh, nice.
It's my friends from BNL.
Pete
Tyler.
rocks.
Thanks, guys. That was a nice surprise. They are just a pleasure to tour with. The best dudes. There we go. Back on. Maybe getting a little far away from the internet router. Could be. So let me know if you guys can see me again. I think you probably can. Just go a little bit closer to the backstage here. So I hear some noise from out front. So let me look for your comments down the bottom there. You're back. Good. Yeah. All right. Do you know who played the finger picking part on Chris Cornell's The Keeper? That would be Alan Johannes. Yeah, which was great. How many tracks in one of your typical songs? Never more than 30, even with real drums, which can sometimes take 12 tracks or something. But yeah, never more than like 30. I mean, maybe I've done one at some point that was 40, but generally it's not that many. So, yeah, I guess no any monitors for you. Well, I'm using them a little bit out here, but it's mainly the monitor. I do have like when I go out and play at the end with BNL, I'm using in-ears for that, which long story short, and I'm making a video on it right now, but I'm using, hey, what's up? There's Jim. I'm doing a little live stream.
Hey, everybody.
Brilliant bassist from Bare Naked Ladies.
Brilliant.
And I was showing them your upright over there a few minutes ago.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And
Grandma.
it's called Grandma,
Yeah,
right?
she's just resting right now, but she's getting ready for the show. So
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well,
have a
to
good
see ya.
stream.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, I do this every Sunday at about
nice.
11:30, 11:45 a.m. for like 5 years now. So,
Awesome.
yeah, some nice people come in. We just talk about guitar.
'cause
Yeah.
so much to
Oh,
talk about.
who was the fella that the
Yeah.
channel that you've been watching?
Chris Parks. He is things I've learned from Barry Harris.
And Barry Harris was a brilliant
Yes.
second generation.
Yeah, he was a piano player, bebop player, played with Cannonball Adderley, and yeah, he just got this great way of setting up ways to move through chords. And Chris was a student of his for 2 decades.
Yeah.
To just to move inside of music.
We were talking about this. That you're a bassist and you're like, I guess I'm going to play guitar now.
Yeah, because I love the way Chris taught it, and but now I'm moving on to. I like to kind of like play, explore it on my bass, on piano, and guitar to kind of just sort of every instrument gives a new light, a new kind of angle to it. So it all feeds into like
music.
Yeah, the sound, and it's like cultivating like I've always struggled with trying to find how to get like. You don't mind me talking about this on your thing?
I love it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody's digging it.
Everybody. Trying to access tones and sounds like the whole tone sound. And he just has ways of like creating a trail for you to follow to get to those sounds, access those sounds.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool. And
that's so cool.
It's an ongoing, it's lifelong.
Well, you've got me interested in checking out the channel. So,
yeah. Chris, and also, crazy name, but the Labyrinth of Limitations is another teacher of mine, and he's a classical guitar player mainly, and he applies classical kind of contemporary Messiaen kind of composer stuff from Barry Harris. He combines it in that world, which is really interesting. So it's not just bebop centric.
Wow,
it's sort of like trend. It has a really great reach. And I
love this.
You guys got to do your sound check now. So.
Yeah, I better get out there. And,
man.
But that's such good info. Okay,
yeah, cool.
So now you guys got a couple channels to check out. I'll find links and put them in the video description for those and stuff. So you can, good to see you, Jim. All right, I think it's time for me to go to work. So hopefully the stream will be not dropping out. But there's Sean Hurley, and John Andrazik. Yeah, I'm just on now, so I'll just put the computer. Hi, John. This is my live stream.
What's up, everybody?
There's John for Five for Fighting.
Enjoy Soundcheck.
Yeah.
See the whole Soundcheck.
Yeah, I thought you don't mind, do you, if I pop it up and just
Do the whole thing.
Fantastic. See, John's the greatest guy. Doesn't mind. I'll pop it on top of my guitar rack here.
Pete Thorn. Oh my God, I'm so blessed to play with him every night.
Oh,
amazing.
You're the best. We go way back, 20 years now of rocking out. All right, so I'll just set this up here, and you guys can see kind of what we're doing. I think that gets pretty much the whole stage in. There's my little rig over there. What's happening? That's Tommy. Tommy's our stage guy, and he's fantastic. So I got to get my guitars out here. But you can see my rack over there with the my Shure Wireless, the two 112s over there, and power amp.
Check 1, 2.
Bringing out the wedges. Brought the Alt T out, Sir Alt T. I'm just using this on a song, but I love this guitar actually. That and this guy. That's all I need. All right, so hang as long as you want, you guys, and hopefully the stream won't die out on us. See, if it does, I apologize. I'll edit it later. Get going here. Hang on, we got to do some wireless stuff real quick. Okay. Not quite ready yet. stuff from my sneaks got to come out. There's my capo. What's the seventh? These are the best. I love these capos because you can just press them on and they don't push too hard, and you don't get crazy problems with tuning. When you clamp them on. But I also picked up one of these Planet Waves ones the other day. I have no idea what this is going to sound like now. So right now, Tommy's doing the wireless frequencies on my pack. They give me frequencies every day for my 2 packs, so that we don't step on one another frequency-wise. So he manually enters the frequencies every day. And I'm using the Axion. I've got the little Shure GLXD on my board too, but I'm playing it safe. Thank you. Oh, we just got to run the Yeah. Can't tune yet because he's running the snake from the rack to my my quad and the tuner that's out on the board there. So basically, the signal comes out of my wireless pack, goes back to the Axion back there, and then runs out a 25-foot cable to the pedal board. If that makes sense. Coffee. Delish. All right. Thank you. It just works every day. So I use this guitar on the second song with a capo on the 3rd fret. So I'll generally start with the Alt T, and then I move to this one with the capo, and then the capo moves to the 1st fret for the next song, and then comes off for the rest of the show. And I just retune. I'll set this up with the capo right now.
I think we'll start with
It's sticky out here. So when I started, I was loud, and realized the volume on the quad cortex, the big knob, I was up about. There's a lot of difference between 90 and 97. Like a good solid 5-6 dB. What should
Hey, Sean.
Oh, there's a super chat there. Which guitars did you take? I've got a Taylor acoustic. There it is. Stream dropped out a little bit. Hopefully it's not dropping out too much, but if it is, nothing I can do. I'm at work. But yeah, I've got a nice Taylor. And then I've got Sir Alt T. Okay. And then this one. Okay, I gotta work.
2, 3.
Totally.
We still got some folks out there watching. Fantastic. I have no idea how this sounds. It's probably loud and compressed. But what else are you guys talking about? Okay, we're gonna do one more. Yeah, fantastic.
Stage right and stage left.
It's all hard work around here.
They are both at the same setting.
Wow.
The stage right one is
That
about
was
50
fun.
dB softer than the stage left. I was pulling your vocal in and out of the PA. Just thinking of stumbling. That's it. Oh. I'm being there yet.
Maybe before last time we did that.
Yeah, we're just checking this drop quick, and that should be good. I think Francois just blew up my headphones. Francois, that looks much better. Thank you.
And that's that. Easy. Easy peasy. In my quad, I like to just have the set.
Sean wants
Sorry,
nothing but crowd mics. Through a pair of SM81s.
I was just going to show you. In here,
Yeah, he'll play in better time.
I like to have the set.
That's a
run.
great.
Sorry, guys.
Usually remember to get my mute.
The stream keeps dropping out, so sorry about that. I'll take this backstage again. Sorry, guys, the stream keeps dropping out, I know, but that's the best I can do. But hopefully it was kind of cool. You know, somewhat interesting. And John was a great. What is it? Oh, there we go. Okay. Sorry, a little chaotic, but I'm sure you understand. Seemed like it was working for a little while. Yeah, I'll go through and edit this later, all the dropouts, and see if I can. That'll take some time because there's probably a lot, but hopefully that was kind of interesting and that it sort of stayed online for consistently for a little while. Thanks, Corey, for the super chat. Appreciate that. Yeah, that's what we do every day. It's pretty fun. And then play a show around 8 o'clock usually. We do a 40 or 45-minute set just after Delamitri. Yeah, pretty awesome for chucking a phone or laptop on stage. You go, I wonder how it sounded. Could you guys hear the mix okay? I mean, it's probably like compressed as hell, right? And just kind of squishes down whenever the drums come in and stuff, I bet, or when I come in. I'm not exactly quiet, but Juggernaut says, loved it. That's awesome. Yeah, I'll go through and try and make a little more sense of it and clean it up, so that there's not a bunch of dropouts and stuff in the replay. I should be able to do that. Oh, I've only been on for an hour and 10 minutes. Wow, we ended Soundcheck early. 10, wow. We went on early, Soundchecked early, and ended early, very early. So, yeah, sounded good. Cool. Not many dropouts. Oh, good. Good. Yeah, I'll see if I can fix it up later. What else are you guys talking about? Nice to stand on the side of the stage of the sound check. Yeah, it just worked out time-wise. It's like, because we always check it. See you, Patrick. Take care. Good to see you. It always kind of is at 3:30 Eastern every day. So that's right about when I go live. So very good of you living the dream. Thanks, man. Thank you. Do you have an acoustic? Yes. It's a Taylor, and I believe it's called a 517. And I just got it, and I love it, although I'm not using it that much because I don't actually play acoustic during the BNL set. So the only time I'm using it is during our solo shows, which there's a few of on this tour. And then we do a song called Hope, and I play on that. And but it's a beautiful Taylor 517 that I brought. So very good of you living the dream. Thanks. Curious, since you've got in-ears and cabs on stage, what's running through the wedges? Well, I'm mainly using The wedge, like you just saw me just using a wedge right now, no in-ears. It's just one wedge. Sounds great. I mean, for our band, it's not a huge band. It's just a 4-piece, and it's like I can hear the bass amp on stage. I can hear the drums from back there, so I just get some drums, and I've actually got a nice full mix in the wedge with piano. It's a lot of John, acoustic guitar, piano, vocal, drums, a little bit of bass. Barely any of me because I'm hearing my cabs behind me. That's what I like to hear. Yeah. And T-Top, thanks for the super chat. Appreciate that. How's the catering? Catering's been great. Every day. Been solid. Atomic Punk says going to keep hammering you about Patreon. Working on it with a friend of mine, actually. So he's got some great ideas. And it'll happen. It's going to finally happen. Hi from Spain, says Fred. What's up? Yeah. Couldn't see you, or couldn't hear great, but still very cool to see in action. Yeah, you're getting a mix off the top of my guitar rack behind the PA, But
the very back door with a roll-up door.
A great afternoon hang. Thanks so much. I appreciate that. Thanks for being here. By the water in Boston. Yeah. It's nice out here today. It's a little cooler today, a little bit. It's like high 70s, not such a bad day. No complaints. That was cool. Thank you. I'm glad that worked. So, cool off the cuff kind of live stream. Good times. Just reading your comments here. Pete's gonna have to get the rights to play this song. I'll have to ask John. Yeah. I'll be sharing the monetization with John, I think. Yeah. First Pete video where I thought I can play that. It's like John's songs are great songs in the classic songwriting sense, and it's straightforward, and we just play fun. I mean, it's all about the melody, and it's great, Americana flavored singer-songwriter tunes. I think he's an underrated songwriter. So, yeah. What else you guys talking about? I guess I'll go pretty soon, but let's see. Put triple shot matcha lattes with a dash of turmeric on your rider. I like turmeric. Funny you should mention. We do have turmeric shots, like ginger shots with turmeric. That's good stuff. Keep you healthy. Supposed to anyway. Reduce inflammation, right? What gauge strings on your acoustic? I'm a wuss, so I like 11s. It's a Taylor 5 for 17. I see what you did there. Yeah. Tom says that was cool. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Tom. Thanks, man. Got to work up a banjo solo. Thank you, guys. I'm glad. Lots of votes of confidence here. I appreciate it. I had no idea how it would sound, so it could have been a disaster. So, sound-wise, at least, I knew we'd play okay. Oh, thanks, Fire Marshal Bill. Wow, that's really I guess it was a good thing we did this. So it's kind of really off the cuff. So, not many pros ever invite you to Soundcheck. John's so cool about it too. He doesn't, he's got no qualms. I mean, I've enjoyed working for John on and off for the last 20 years. He's one of the nicest guys in the business. And just, before a tour, he'll book 2 rehearsals. We'll come down and work out whatever we're going to do. And if we hit a song and it sounded good, he was like, that's done. Let's move on. It's always like that. He's very doesn't labor over things if it's good. And he's just very, efficient, plus kind, just likes to have a good time. So, yeah. Almost 250 watching, only 70 likes. Come on, people. Yeah, hit that like button if you had fun. It always helps. It always helps to spread the video far and wide. So, did anybody see the video I put up yesterday? I was going to bring up the guitar cab microphone video that I put up yesterday from Sweetwater. If you haven't seen it, please check it out and please give it a share if you like it. It was a little bit of a labor of putting together. Some of the footage is kind of grainy. I apologize for that. It was just the setting I had my camera on, which wasn't perfect. but the content there is great. Sean did an awesome job recording all the sounds, so the audio is really good. And who cares about the grainy video? I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, it's not cinematography we're looking for, it's the guitar tones, right? So I mentioned in the video that I bought the Soyuz mic, and I'm definitely going to be getting one of the 545s too, the Shure, because that thing sounded great. So please check out that video if you haven't seen it. And I know it's a little like niche, like these days, not even everybody's micing cabinets, but I still love doing it. So, hopefully you'll check it out. And yeah. Okay, I'm just reading some of your other comments here. So this is class. Oh, thanks. Yeah. I'll tell John you guys really enjoyed it. He'll appreciate that. He was so kind about it. So, yeah. Sounds really good, Arthur says. That's awesome. I'm glad you could hear it okay. I didn't know if it would work at all. So, yeah, there's a super chat from Patrick. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Do you use mics on your amp? So it's coming out of the quad with speaker simulation to the PA, just a couple XLRs, but I've got cabs on stage that I just don't need to mic them. So, right? That's what we're doing.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're
This is
doing.
Chris. He does sound. So how does it sound in the PA?
It sounded great.
So we were just talking about the microphones or lack of on the guitar. You're digging the quad and the.
Oh yeah, it's definitely the most realistic thing I've heard in the modeling world, like at least through a PA.
Awesome.
So yeah, you push it up and you could feel like it still feels like air moving.
Yeah.
In a weird way.
Yeah.
So
good.
A lot of those just get real flat walled, and it's like, well,
right.
The tone's there, but
that's what I find. They're flat, like kind of flat or compressed sounding, even though they're not compressed.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
there's times where like you'll go down and play something low, and it sounds like a tube amp kind of balling up down there, and it loses a little bit of its clarity. But that's like what an amp does.
Right.
So it works. It sounds great.
That's intentional. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Every night I hear you work on the mixes backstage and stuff, and it sounds awesome. So I can't go up front and listen, but it sounds like what you're doing.
We could do virtual one day.
Yeah.
We should do a day. Just have you guys come out and hear what it sounds like. I
want to hear that.
Yeah.
Maybe if we have time in the next show, that'd be awesome to hear. Yeah.
I'll make it happen.
Just even for 30 seconds, I'd love to hear. Everybody records the shows now, so you can actually kind of almost do sound check without the band, right? Like sort of.
There's a lot of groups that do that. I've been a part of tours where you get 45 seconds with the PA. It's like quickly throw up, your virtual from the night before, and you don't even have gear on stage, but at least I can hear what it sounded like from last night's show to the PA.
Yeah, that's cool. So that's like a multi-track basically from the previous night. Whoever's doing sound can pull it up and kind of get a mix going without these modern things these days.
These kids with their toys.
It's crazy. Thanks, man.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it. That's Chris. He's a good man. He's a good man. Yeah. This live saved me from doing landscaping. How did you explain that one away? I can't right now. I'm watching music on YouTube. Let's see. What else? Let's see. Get the PA mix and remix this video. Oh, that's not a bad idea, actually. I could download it off YouTube. And I don't know if they recorded Soundcheck or not. It usually records the show, but great point. Kind of a good idea. Yeah. That's an endorsement. Yeah, for sure. Because, he does sound for all kinds of folks. And I do feel like a lot of what he said actually is really interesting, that a lot of it is kind of flat, in the modeling world. Can be the tones there, but it sounds kind of flat, whereas he's feeling the air move, even though there's not air moving in his signal. I find that interesting. So, yeah. Franklin's talking about the Soyuz mic. Pick the Soyuz before hearing your results. Yeah, it was so instantly obvious, right? Like a good sound coming off that microphone. It was all there. It's really similar to the 4050, but to me, it was just a little richer. And I've been using the 4050 for years, so yeah. Tell Johnny gained a new fan. That's awesome. I'm sure he'll love to hear that. He's been really supportive of me doing this kind of stuff and the this world and stuff, the YouTube world, live streams and IG posts and stuff like that, which is really nice. A lot of artists are a lot more, they sort of clamp down on it, but I've never, he was like so cool. He's like, yeah, sure, sound check. So it's awesome. He's great that way. It's good vibes. So, yeah. I forgot to attach my comment to my super chat. That's no problem. Is it safe to pair an 8-ohm cab with a 4-ohm cab? Well, you'll end up with somewhere in the middle. So I would set your amp for 4 ohms, and you'd probably be fine, Patrick. Use the 4-ohm output, and you'll end up with 6 or something. I think that's right. This may be a question you want to ask Friedman, exactly how to do it. But an 8-ohm and a 4-ohm, if you do 2 8-ohms together and then you use the 4-ohm output, you would be right. Yeah, just use the 4-ohm out and you'll be fine, I think. Long story short. That's right, guys? People out there are, there's going to be some folks that can probably follow up on that in the chat, but I think you should be fine using the 4-ohm out with an 8-ohm and a 4-ohm cab. So, yeah. Well, this has been fun. Anybody else got anything else, or I might split soon and just go and kind of chill for a little bit. I'm thirsty. Need to get a beverage of some sort. Would be about 3 ohms if you're using an 8-ohm load and a 4-ohm load. Sounds like probably okay, right? Thanks for taking us along. That was great. Hey, thanks so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, the load will be 5. That's what I was thinking, 5 or 6, right? So a 4-ohm out should be fine. G-Man says the fact you're using the quad for the past few years is a testament to the modeling world. Well, it's kind of like Chris said. It just instantly had the most kind of natural sound to me. Oh, there's a super chat from Peter. Hey, Peter, what's up? You're always here. Thanks, man, for always tuning in. I appreciate it. I'm just gonna grab something out of the fridge here to drink. I'm a little thirsty. Looks good. What's that? Lemon seltzer water. Fantastic. Fantastic. Yeah, testament to the quad, just because it was an instant thing for me. It was like, ooh, that sounds good. Like from the time I plugged it in, I was like, that's actually pretty nice. And it is a realism thing where I felt like it was just really all there, and like the air was moving and all that. I don't know, it's they all sound good, but I really enjoy using it. Yeah. What else you guys talking about? Let's see. Thanks, Pete. That was way above the Call of Duty. Well, it was fun for me too. It's fun to do these and feel like it's going to be interesting, and something new that we haven't done before. And I enjoy it. So might as well go for a soda. And nobody hurts and nobody cries. Kim Mitchell, I love that guy. Amps in the Zone AC30. Yeah, and I have one I can do it with. I know. I gotta do that. That's gonna happen. I've got another Amps in the Zone or sort of similar project that I'm working on some really, really cool boutique kind of amps, and like the most boutique. So that's gonna be good, I think. I'll just tell you, it's train wrecks and like a few train wrecks. So I already did the one on the Liverpool, but it's an Express and some other legendary amps. So that should be really fun. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, Peter. I didn't address your question here. Or you say got a pretty good balanced sound from the live stream. Super fun. Guys sound great. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Yeah. Do you ever get nervous or overthink things? You are obviously pretty damn good, but some days are bad days. Yeah, totally, dude. I mean, I do. I still have my moments. My mental game that I play with myself is always to have a go-to to knock me out of that. And for me, I think about players that don't seem to have that, even though they might. But like, I try and default to Jack White or something. I've mentioned this before, but he's my if I gotta be what would he do in this situation if you're feeling uncomfortable or a little bit nervous? He's my go-to because he's so sort of powerful and primitive in his playing in an awesome way. I mean that as a compliment. That there's it's all performance and in the moment, and doesn't care, the vocal tuning, guitar being a little out of tune, whatever, it doesn't matter. And we've all been at shows where people deal with that in different ways, like nerves or and you've probably seen shows where the guy's kind of out of tune and But if the attitude's there and if the intensity's there and the right intention, it doesn't matter. It's like better almost when you get, break a string, like whatever it is, and then how you deal with that. So I always think of him because sometimes I'm too anal retentive about, guitar tone or the mix or different stuff like that. You got to play through it somehow, and it can kind of be like driving through a snowstorm, like in the dark, going slow and following the road, and so you got to find your way through that. And some days are bad days. You're right. It's called just rock. Yeah, there's more. Yeah, it's like rock is it's an attitude and an intensity and an intention. It's your intention. And the crowd can feel, or the the audience, if you're timid or if you're not having a good, that's something that becomes apparent. But if you just blast through, then it's a different. It's all in your intention. You got to get in the right headspace. You got to get your head straight. Speaking of which, talking about, hey, I'm still on. They loved it.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, everybody was like, somebody said, "Tell John I've got a new fan," and everybody was so sweet. So they're totally digging it. So
Well,
John's
we have
here.
a couple. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining Soundcheck. If you want to come to a show, we always have a spot or two on the guest list. So,
Yeah, 100%.
Send us a note, and if there's a spot, be our guest, and, watch this guy right, in the fourth row.
We got quite a few more. I mean, right? We're about
Yeah, we got 10. We got 11 more.
11 more,
Yeah.
and our own show, Interlochen,
Yep.
at the end, right?
Yep.
Does everybody know that Interlochen venue? It's a cool venue, right?
Oh, it's great. It's a great amphitheater right on the lake.
Yeah.
And
It's in Michigan. Right?
it actually has a very kind of well-known music school. And
Right.
for whenever we play Interlochen, some of the students will open for us. So we'll have some students playing their songs.
That's right. I remember
Yeah.
now. Yeah. It's a great place.
Yeah, all the dates, fiveforfighting.com, and let us know and come join us.
Yeah. Thank you,
All right,
John.
guys.
Appreciate
Thank you.
it.
All right.
That was cool. Straight into some technical stuff. What sample rate should you choose in IR for the Helix? I believe it's 2448. 48K. Yeah. Is that your own piano or rented? I think it's John's. I think the piano. Nice dude. He is a nice dude. He's one of the nicest dudes in the business. Great, terrific guy to work with, and John is he's a very interesting guy because he's got a successful family business as well that his grandfather started. And when he, Superman, Easy Tonight, got traction on radio and became a hit, but then Superman became a huge hit in 2001. And John was early 30s, I think, when that happened, something like that. So, he wasn't a kid, and he was already working in the family business. And so he leads this parallel life of, having this successful business that's a really big deal, in addition to writing songs and stuff. So he's got a unique kind of outlook and perspective on things that I find is quite special because of his it's different. He's a he's got a head for business and accounting and things like that because that's really like the main thing he does now, as well as music. It's split. This is the main thing. That's I guess it's 50-50, would be the split. But he's a terrific guy because of that. It really has his, great head on his shoulders and whatnot. So it's a blast to work with. Yeah, Tom says, what a nice guy. He is a really good guy. Yeah, really good dude. All right, well, I think I'm going to go, you guys, and, do some other stuff that I've got to do here on my Sunday before we play at about 8 p.m. But this was so much fun. And I'll go through and try and edit out some of the dropouts if there is any later, and I'm sure there was, excuse me, I burped. I'm sure there was a few during the performance and stuff like that. So I'll try and clean it up a little bit and stuff. But you're all here live anyway, so that'll be for other folks that are watching later. I'll see you next Sunday. Let's look at where I am, just so I can. If there's any problems with the time or whatever, I'll let you know. But I think it's probably okay. A great app called Master Tour that tells me all the dates and schedule and everything for every day. Everybody uses Master Tour now. That's how we figure out what we're doing. So, okay, Sunday, we'll be at the St. Augustine Amphitheater in Florida, and we will do this all again. Yeah. I don't know if I'll do another live sound check, but maybe it'll be repetitive to do that. But the usual time, usual place. We'll see. If I need to change anything, I'll let you know on the on Facebook and on YouTube and post section and stuff like that. All right, everybody. Have an awesome day and evening. Who's that? Is that Randy? That's cool. That's a great way to end. Randy's like a drummer personified, Beside drummer in the dictionary is the picture of Randy, twirling his sticks, being a Canadian rock drummer. See you guys. Have a great day. Thanks for being here.